Wednesday, May 13th, we've got a benchmark today, DT. It's a favorite of a lot of people. We're gonna use whatever you've got at home for this today. So if you've got your backpack, we're using that for the whole thing. A pair of dumbbells works great. If you happen to have a barbell at home, you can go ahead and use that as well. The weight for, if you do have a barbell at home, the weight for that, the way it's written as the benchmark, is 155 and 105. So 155 would be, we want it to be something that you can move through those 6 push presses unbroken. If you have dumbbells, a really basic way to look at would be, we would want to see a 55-pound, 35-pound set of dumbbells, and then in that backpack, something that's going to be moderate to heavy for the push presses. Speaking of push presses, what is DT? So DT, 5 rounds for time, 12 deadlifts, DT, 5 rounds for time, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push presses. When we're thinking about the weight that we want to use here, we want the push presses, that's gonna be our limiting factor, but we want that to be a weight that we're gonna go unbroken, that we can get all 6, maybe not super easy, but we're gonna get them all done. We'll do a quick review of these movements. They're stuff we're all familiar with, so our deadlifts with whatever we're using. All right, so if you're gonna do a single deadlift, that's fine. You're just gonna switch at the halfway point, so 6 and 6, but regardless of what you're doing, you're gonna have your back flat, belly tight, and squeezing everything in like you're making orange juice. So standing nice and tall, tapping down, hinge back, and stand up. So if you've got a barbell, the same deal. We're gonna think about all those same things. If you have 2 dumbbells, you're gonna go in the suitcase. So 1 dumbbell on either side, tapping down and standing tall. Then we go into those hang power cleans. So regardless of what we're using, let's use a backpack for right now since that's what most people have at home. Hang power cleans, we're gonna use the backpack. So we're gonna stand up nice and tall. We're gonna stand up tall, we're gonna hinge back, and then explode, punch the elbows through and catching that front rack. So we're thinking jump and punch. So when we're doing these, we're hinging, jumping, and punching those elbows through. Last, we're moving into 6 push presses. So we're gonna dip and send it up overhead. So when we dip, we're keeping our torso upright. Try not to let your hips shift forward. So we wanna see these going straight down and back up. You can relax. Couple things to think about in this workout today in terms of strategy. We want to use a lot of leg in all these movements. In the deadlift, in the hang power clean, in the push press, we want to use our legs as much as we can to help us out because those shoulders are going to start to get cooked pretty quickly. So making sure in the deadlift that we're pressing the floor away. We're starting that movement with a leg press into the floor. Those hang power cleans, we want to see a nice hinge and then an explosion up into that full extension. Get that power going. And then in our push press, we want that dip to be nice and strong. So straight down and then pushing through the floor to send the weight up overhead. Another thing to think about today in terms of strategy is when you rest. These movements all lead into each other. In order to do a hang power clean, you have to do a deadlift. In order to do a push press, you have to do a hang power clean. So if we're putting that weight down, we don't want to put it down until we've only got 1 or 2 reps left in whatever movement we're in, so that when we pick it up, we can go right into the following movement. For example, if I'm doing those deadlifts and I feel like I'm going to need a break, I'm not putting that weight down until maybe rep 10 so that I can pick it up, do 11, do 12, and then go right into my hang power cleans. If you have questions about how to scale this or some other goals that we can set for today, make sure to leave them in the comments. As always, the virtual classes is a great way to get your coaching in and your training in. Goal for today, we want to see these kept under 2 minutes in terms of your rounds. We've got a 12-minute cap on it. So a little bit of coaching goes a long way for this one. Hopefully we see you guys in class. Otherwise, let us know how DT goes for you in the comments.